So more lessons from my free method book. This is the 2019 edition of the method book, and we're going over the C major scale. We're going over some eighth notes, so your introduction to eighth notes. We're going over Angeline the Baker, Etude No.9, and then a Slovenian folk song as well. So the C major scale, at this point you've learned all the notes that are required of a C major scale. So we're going to start by playing them in half notes. So rest your thumb on the 6th string, use IM the entire time. You might be used to using your thumb on the bass strings, but for scales, we often will just get used to alternating IM. So that's what we're going to do today. You should memorize this scale and warm up with it every day. So I'll play it for you first. So it just puts a lot of different things into work, just being able to stream from one C up to the high C and then back down to the low C. It's just a really good skill, and it's harder than you think, right? It's an easy concept to just play through the notes, but to do it legato from start to finish is one of the reasons that we'll practice scales a lot. It's just to give us this very easy task, very set task, 1 octave C major scale, and we're going to try to play it very evenly, so with an even sense of the pulse. Da, 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 da. And we're also going to try to make sure we're using the alternating fingers the whole time, so be very careful. I'd recommend you say the fingering out loud. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am, I, etc., etc. If you say it out loud, it'll make it real, and you'll notice that if you make an accident and you say I, but you're playing with M, obviously you need to work on something, right? So that's one thing you can do. Besides that, I think it's just a way of learning those new notes and getting everything that we've been talking about into play. We'll learn more about major scales in Volume 2, where we cover different key signatures. So we'll be playing lots of different scales from all the different keys. But for now, we'll just stick with this C major scale. So eighth notes. You'll notice on this page, on exercise number 1 and exercise number 2, that I've written out the exact same exercise twice. One with ands, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and one without, 1, 2, 3, 4. You should practice counting both ways, not just one way, counting both ways. So the first way is with ands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Make sure you say the counting out loud, not in your head, but just out loud. Make it concrete and make it real. And then exercise number 1B, we don't count the ands, not even in your head. So you're just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's exactly the same rhythm though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to get used to playing eighth notes as just a reaction to the beat. 1. You don't have to necessarily count all the individual ands. And you might ask why. And the truth is, it has to do with the feeling of the music. This feels 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and like lots of beats. It feels very intense. 1, 2, 3, 4 feels different, right? La 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 la. As opposed to la 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 la. It's a different musical feel, and it just feels different physically. So make sure you're counting in both ways. Exercise 2A, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now without the ands, so this is exercise 2B, 3, 4, 1, 2, So again, same exercise, different style of counting. Become very comfortable with both ways before progressing onward. Angeline the Baker. So we're going to play this pretty straight at first, and then we'll talk about swinging the beat, but we'll play it just straight at first. So this only has 2 beats per bar. So we'll be counting it 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And we're going to use I am fingering the whole time. If you feel like swinging the beat a little bit, feel free to. It's kind of fun. It's essentially just like a little bit of a lazy 8th note. Da, 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 as opposed to da, 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 da. One is kind of, the first note is a little bit elongated until the next note, and the other one's just very even. So swinging the beat a little bit. So try it out in both ways. And if you're thinking like, why am I learning this bluegrass tune in a classical guitar book? Just remember, we're learning to use our fingers to express music. So we want a wide variety of different styles and different ways of playing so that your fingers learn how to express different styles of music or different ways of expressing the music. You can't just play in one way and expect your hands to be able to be really musical. You have to do a variety of different ways. So I think it's really important that you experiment with different styles at first, just to train your fingers to do different things, not just classical. So Etude No.9, or Glass, this is kind of just like a little minimalistic piece, Glass being a reference to Philip Glass, of course. This is an arpeggio piece in 8th notes. So we've been doing lots of arpeggio pieces just to train our fingers to play arpeggios, not just melodies. So pretty straightforward. Not much to say, just follow the fingering carefully. Yeah, so I mean, it's just a little arpeggio etude, right? Making sure you're getting some practice in with your arpeggios. And you can add a little bit of musical shaping, like you heard at the end there. I was getting a little bit softer as I went and slowing down, doing a little rit until the end. It's not written in the music, but in this case, it's been written on lots of the pieces, but in this case, you can choose to do it if you like. That's just adding a little bit of musicality to your pieces. Okay, now venci Vejli. I doubt that I'm saying that right. All the wreaths are white. This is a traditional Slovenian song, folk song, transcribed by Earl Sparrock, who runs a great website and record label that you should definitely check out. There's a link for that under the video. Not much to say here. The notes are pretty simple, although there's 8th notes and quarter notes and half notes that you have to look out for, but the time signature changes. Now, at first, I'd recommend you not even pay attention to the time signature. Just read the notes for their values. If you're playing it with your teacher or something, the teacher can come in with chords and play along with you if they like. But the main thing is that you just if you're just feeling the beat like this, thump, 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 then you don't even have to think about the time signatures. But if you want to, you could try counting them out. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It might seem weird to have a shifting time signature, but it's really not that hard when the notes are nice and simple like this. So it's kind of a fun little experiment. You could also just listen to the song and get to know it, and then just play it by ear as well. It's a really beautiful little melody, and it's a little different, so it's nice to have it in the book. So that kind of concludes that area of the book. So a little bit of an introduction to eighth notes there, as well as that C major scale. So next we'll be moving on to Flow Gently, and then two voice textures.